Sorry, let's see, make sure my cameras are all right. I've had a print shop for 7, 8 years. I kind of just developed this flow. I tried a bunch of different software. A lot of it didn't work for what I needed, so I created what I needed. So I'm gonna go over mainly um, the patch builders today. Let me share my screen. You want to see my screen all right? Maybe. Can y'all see that before I start just go on? Okay, cool. Feel free to ask questions, turn your camera on, anything like that. All right, so this is going to be the main page that, it's our marketing page. You can find out all the information you need from it. You can start your trial right here. You can go and test one of these builders, and to download the file, it'll start a trial. So you can actually do kind of a quick test if you want before you want to actually commit to anything. Go ahead and log in. So it's going to be your main page you land on whenever you get in here. There's two parts of this. There's the standalone builder, which is, for your shop and everything like that. That's what we're in right now. And then there's going to be the online sales, customizers, and partner stores, which I'll get into those in a second. So we'll start here with we have a lot of different things that we kind of do for the image builder. So you want to always build your image first because none of this other stuff will work without, whoops, let me put these people, still people joining. So you want to build your image first because none of these other ones will work before, an image is built. We'll do the UV printing first. This is going to be the patch builder. That's what works the best right now. And it all works, but that's what I put all my focus in. So it's really developed. This is if you just want to do it, set up some sort of UV print for whatever. With the same process, that one just has a patch backing and this one doesn't. Let me turn this to light mode. There's light and dark mode. You can change your measurements. We'll add something. So the first thing you want to do is start with your image, and you want to add just an image in here just to pull it up. It'll render the cut lines and everything. This background is just for mockup purposes. It doesn't come through on any sort of sorry, people keep joining, so I'm trying to make sure I'm competitive. Let's see. Okay. So you want to upload your image first, and this is going to produce your production ready files and everything. So like the actual material is not going to show up. It's going to be an actual production file. You can upload an image. You can use our AI builder, which you can add that to it until it change the blue to green. I'll go down here and generate a new one. So I changed all that to green. You can also upload another image. So if you get a bad image sent to you from a customer or whatever, always go in here and oops. I think this has a background on it. You want to remove this one as well. And then you can press recreate this, and it's going to recreate that patch. It had like a white transparent background on it, you can see. Just a second. Oops, I should do that. So knocking out the background, it tells you what it's doing over here. And then it recreated the patch that I had, and that's the recreation. Show you the original. Go back to image, take this off. We'll just upload it. It's that one. It's that one. So it has a background on it. If you just want to upload an image, you can go over here now to adjust, remove your background, and it'll remove the background for you. You can also upscale your images if you need to. That one really doesn't need upscaled. It's pretty good. You can remove watermarks. And also there's all these effects in here. You can also type your own, but we'll do snakeskin, for example. You can add all different, want to do a cobra, large, oops, glossy. Then you generate the effect. So it did a whatever snakeskin effect on the whole thing. You can do that with any image. You can also, like I say, type something in here if you wanted to. My employee spends a lot of time in this area. I'll do Texas flag. I did this earlier. It's first come to mind. The little Texas flag theme, however it could. Looks like it messed up a little right there. The AI is not perfect. I'm not going to claim it is. It does pretty good, but sometimes it does get a little off. To remove all your effects, go back to your normal one. So the first thing we did was, create our image all the way across there, and then we would want to go down to the patch. First thing, you can do here is set your size. This is if want to unlock it and lock it. I'll show you how that works. So, you can change it to 2 inches. It's going to make the larger size that preset size. Jump over here. You have your contour cuts is what we're at now. It's around there, but I'll change to a rounded rectangle just to show you the sizing. You can go back to the size, unlock it, change that to 2, and then change the size. And that's why you would want to, do the aspect ratio lock. We'll go back over here. I might go back to contour cut because that's the one I like. You can choose your material. Again, this is just for mock-up purposes. And you're UV printing, so it's not going to react to the material. That'll be in the laser engraving, which I'll get into next. But you can go through here and try all of them. And if a customer says, "Hey, I want it on that," you can do download mock-up. And then they're like, "Hey, can I also see it on, blue denim?" Download mock-up. And they show up right here. There's one, that's a PNG that you can just send your customer so they can see. And then here would be the blue one. Same thing. And again, these are UV printed. That's why they're not reacting. I'll show you that here in a minute. Your cut lines, you can go here. You can make them tight, none. Cut out your inner shape if you want. Oops, let me find that. Gotta find. Yeah, you can cut out your inner shapes. I may have removed it, but I'll put that back. Change your cut line, however, slide it this way. When you're doing contour cut, it adjusts around the image, but when you change the shape, your image actually adjusts inside the shape. Show you what I mean. You can move it smaller, larger. You can vectorize it and turn it into layers where you can put spot layers or remove certain colors, anything like that. Oh, it says it cannot sharpen. Some things just aren't good to be vectorized, to be honest. This is probably one of them. Yep. So I'll refine that a little more. You can add borders on here. Go in here and move it in from the inside or from the edge. You can make it thicker with the space, and that'll be like for faux stitching or something like that. You can add another border if you wanted to and put a secondary one in there. However you want, you can remove them, which I'm going to. And then there's backgrounds. You can upload your own, or you can choose one of ours. And it should not do that, but I'll adjust that. But you can add your backgrounds like that. Same thing, move them from the edge. Oh, let's go ahead. Oh, there it goes. So you fill behind the edge, and you can move it from there, same way as the other one. The opacity on, you can scale it in and out if you wanted to on the actual image. If you were printing on white and you just wanted different colors, you can go do a solid color, so you want red, go behind image. Oops. And then you can just print whatever color patch you want. You don't have to, that's why everyone buys white, because you can just, print the background on there. Make sure no one's trying to join. All right. You can change it whatever color you want. Again, this is going to print that color. It's not going to be the material, so this will show up. Turn it off. Shape. Type. And then you can also go down here. You can put elements. You can put different text on top of it. Images if you want to add something. Shapes. This is actually a cool feature right here. If you want to make like some earrings or something, you can put a circle on here. You just hit that cut through material, drag it right here, and it's going to kind of attach to the thing. And then you go down here and you hit render cut line, and now your file will have that circle cut out with it. So you can make like keychains, earrings, anything like that. And it's just a layer, so you can delete it. You can also add QR codes. Same thing, kind of attaches to it, doesn't let you pull too far. And then you go down here. Once you figure out where you want it, you just render the cut line. And you can just render your QR codes right on there, and then finalize it once you figure out what you want, and it'll lock it in. You can set barcodes, all kinds of stuff, numbers, time. So if you want to put a watermark on your logos, and then all your stuff you can save right here. You give it a name, save it. You can save different variations of it if and it'll like put a different number code next to it, so that I'll save this one, chameleon, save. And it's saved in my library. You have your library access, everything feeds back to the library, so it's all saved on here. And then when you're ready, you have over here, you can use this for your pricing. You can change it, charges by the square inch of the patch, how many you want. And you have different discounts applied, so it kind of knocks it down a little bit. And then you would add a card if you're at like an event or something, or they're at your store, and you can just sell it right to them. You can download your mockups, I was showing you, but then you can just download the image. If you create a cool image in here, you can have it and go use it for whatever. And then this is going to be your export your production package, which is everything. So we'll switch to CYMK, and you just go through here and switch everything you would want. You would want to have laser engraving on if you got Lightburn and all that. But there's your depth maps if you want depth maps to do like what's it called, like textured patches. I can show you all these. That's the best ones. This is going to be your underbases on your TIFF file because it does produce the actual TIFF file, so you can put them right into main top. You don't have to use Photoshop and add the white channel. So I'll export these. It's all web-based, so you can just go right on the website and do everything. We retain all the information for you, all your files, everything. So it's downloading. It puts everything in a zip folder. That's not the right one. I think it's still downloading. Maybe I didn't press it. Oh, I don't know why. I changed. It's me being a dummy. So here's the production packages. I changed the folder to where I wanted it to go instead of my download folder on this. It's kind of my fault. And this is on the drive, so it takes a second. So it's going to give you all your files you need. Here's your TIFF files, which I'll open those up and show you. There it opens in Photoshop. There's your W1 channel, your W2. And there's your image. So you don't have to use Photoshop to put the channels on anymore. Here's your actual mock-up that we did of that one. This is going to be your combined files. So it's going to be, should be a cut line on there, but I don't know if I can not see it. Sorry. Basically gives you all the files you need. So what I would do if I was printing this is I would run this file in main top, and then I would turn around and get just the cut lines right here and put that in Lightburn. And there's the cut lines right there. And this is for a single patch. I'll show you how to do print and cut here, Matt. No, you don't need Photoshop to do a spot channel. It's literally, it's done for you here. We skip the Photoshop. We're replacing stuff like that. And then you can also push it to your store, which I'll explain a little more, but I'll just do it right now. Here's my SJG store, Chameleon. You know, it's a pre-made patch. So here. File alone. You can sell just the files as well. So, and we provide, you know, we distribute them. So once you make something, you can put your file on your store, and then we will send it out for you when people buy it. So you don't have to worry about that whole everything like that. And we'll push that to the store, which I'll show you that here in a minute. Sorry, I'm checking the chat. I have a lot of screens over here. So this is the UV printer for the most part, or the UV patch builder. We'll go into the laser engraving. It's almost the exact same thing. Almost all these are very, 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 very similar. They just have slightly different things. This is the laser engraved patches, which will make them reactive. We'll put that one in. We go delete the background. All this is the same as the UV print, so I'm not going to go over it again. And then when you get in here, you have the engrave options, the basic engrave and advanced engrave. You can only have one on at a time. This is what makes it reactive to the material. So if I didn't like that, you know, I could slide, you know, a little more filled. Say I like that. Now, whenever I go to my materials, it's going to be reactive to whatever this first color is going to be the material, and the second color is going to be what it engraves to. Trying to find some different ones. There's a lot of black. There's a green and gold. And then when you get into tri-layer materials, how this works is that's the material. This is going to be your light engrave, and that's your dark engrave. You can switch to this. Since we're just in basic engrave, it's only going to show 2 colors. But I'll go show you advanced engrave now. So we'll go up here, we'll turn that off. And then we'll go to advanced engrave. And that's okay. It does this sometimes. Whenever you start, you can remix it right here and just see different variations on that material. And again, that this is going to be your material color, the blue. The red's going to be the light engrave, and then the white is going to be the dark engrave and the deep. And then you can go through the materials, switch that. Hey, I don't like that. Let me switch it. Let me switch it again. However you need to. And let's say we like, let me go find a good one. Let's say we like that. We can go, and for the most part, other than backgrounds. So on backgrounds, you can go and put, the laser engraving is the same, but you can put a background on there. It's going to go the outside edge just to protect the image. And then you can add a knockout effect if you want, which is basically half toning it. Make it however many dots so that you can engrave it, but I'm going to turn that off for now. Just because it takes a little work to get it to where you want sometimes. Oops. All right, so whenever you export this now, I'm going to get the Lightburn file. We don't need all this for engraving. Don't need this. We just want this Lightburn file. Let's go see. Just a second, let me open the computer that has Lightburn on it. Okay, so we're going to open the Lightburn file now in here. Oops, it's not that. Wrong button. Not putting it in there. Let me see where I exported it to. Oh, I know why. It's medium dumb again. May have messed up my files, to be honest. This may be my fault. Oh no. It's right there. Sorry, I'm just being dumb. Had a long day. extracting it just a second. There it is. So it came in here on a remote desktop. That's why it's kind of tough for me to move. So it came in here just the files I wanted, and then here are the layers. They put it in, fill layer one, fill layer two, and then your cut contour on the outside. So it's ready to go in light burn to burn right now. Sorry that took so long. So that's basically the difference between the laser engraving and the UV print patch builders. Did anyone have any questions about either one of those? And then I'll move to the next spot. All right. So the next thing is going to be the gang sheet builder. This is how you would line out your print and cut. We'll start from scratch. You pick up your size, you choose whichever one you want. This is going to be your spacing in between your images. This is your margin, which is that, that red dot on the red dotted line on the outside, which is just what keeps everything safe. You can change your background color if you want to, if you're working with white images or different color just so you can see them. This actually will include in the production file, so it'll print like that. We'll go back to white. These are just your resolution indicators whenever you're setting up your sheets. These are your registration marks. You can change them to all kinds of different stuff. They all have little white dots in the very, very middle, so when you line your laser up on them, you can see them. You can change the size, change the color, thickness. This shows your cut lines, which I'd advise leaving that on. And then here are our patches. We'll go add one, add two. You can click that number and add more. Just put them on there. And then if I wanted to make this right, an even size, it's a 6.5 right here. So I'll put a 7. I go down here, change this to custom, just a 7. Now there's my gang sheet that's ready for print and cut. Oops, that's my fault. We're not really completely ready. So then you would export this, same thing. It's just saying we're not liable for if you print other stuff. Choose your files, and what I'd suggest is, again, if you're printing this or if you're if you're laser engraving it, you just need the Lightburn file. But if you're printing it, you just use your TIFF file, and then use your SVG cut file, and the registration marks will be on there. It does take a second to generate some of these files. They're very big. We'll open them. Just taking a second to load, but it's the same thing. You would just line your registration marks are up, do print and cut, and then you can it's real simple. So oh, there it goes. So I'm just taking a second. Just impatient. just a big file. So you'd put this in Lightburn if you want to do your cut files on a print job. Just all the same files, more or less. It's not anything crazy. This is going to be, let's see, I'm going to add in that. But yeah, you would just get either file, any files that you need. Sorry, I was trying to look at that. So that's the canvas builder. There's a few of them. There's a DTF gang sheet, UV DTF gang sheet, sticker layout. They're all the same thing. I just built them because I needed it to do print and cut, but it's literally the exact same thing on all of them. I don't really, that's the main one I use. Any questions? You can go through print and cut. Yes, you need to go to print and cut on Lightroom because you put your registration marks on. And so, but this puts it where you can put like, this is a, like I was telling you, a laser design file. You can take your Lightburn file, put it right in there if you're engraving it. But if you're printing it, you would need to use print and cut just because there's no other way. I mean, you could, I guess, if you have a camera, lay it on top and line it up, but I would suggest that because print and cut you can use on any kind of laser if you in Lightburn, and you don't even need a camera at all. And it's very, very accurate if you know how to use it. And if you don't know how, just message me and I will teach you how. So the mockup builder, these are all the different, stuff we'll end up having. But I'm just going to show you this for now. You go through here, you can pick whatever hat you have. We have, many, many hats. So we'll get a Richardson, 220, red. You can create a new patch and it'll restart that process, or you can use your save patch that we've already made. It does take a second for this to populate sometimes for me, because I have a lot of files on there. I'm going to work on speeding that up. My designs, there's our chameleon. And then you can pull it, put it wherever. This is not a design file like the image builder stuff is and the canvas builder. This is just for mockups. So you can, fix your hat how you like, and then you can go over here and save your mockup to your library, sell it right there, or push it to your store. Same thing I was showing you earlier. So I'll just show you the patch later. Then you can download an actual mockup to send your customer. There it is. Or you can get a JPEG if you prefer that. Same thing. Just has a white background on it. And that's, for the most part, that's the mockup builder, how they're all going to work. You just prepare your, your image first, and then you put it on whatever you have. Okay, so you can have it on as many computers as you want. It's only going to let you be logged in on one at a time though. But you can buy like a team account for $9 more a month, and you can get, another spot, and they'll have their own kind of library and everything like that. So if you have a partner or an employee that wants their own kind of workspace within your workspace and still access all your stuff, you would just add the $9 to it to add whoever you want. Or you could share, it's just not, it's only limited being active on one computer at once. So whenever you log into another computer, it's going to kick your session from the other one. But you can also jump around computers real easy if you want. So if you're working on something over here, you save it, go over here, open it, open the web browser, and you're right there where you were. Photo studio, this is going to be essentially like photo room. So we'll just grab this hat. We'll put a neon glow on it. And everyone's not active all at once, you can jump around computers and have no issues. But if you need everyone active at once, you're gonna have to get, another team, like a team, not like the $9 team up account. But if you're just someone jumping around computer after computer after computer, the same person, you can do it easily with this. And it's not gonna like be confusing. It's just literally gonna kick you out, make you log in over here. When you log in over here, it kicks you out over here, and same thing. There's the neon. That one wasn't the coolest, but there's all kinds of different stuff. You can type your own description. These are just very generic on these ones. And then you can download the picture if you like it, save to your library or push to your store. And you can also put overlays on it. So if you want to put your logo here, Chong logo, we can put it up here in the corner. And you can add some text if you want down here. And then you can download this picture if you wanted to use on social media or whatever. And then you can also, these are just some extra tools that kind of help, fix some things if you need to. And then the models, you can go pick different models and they'll actually be wearing the hat. And these are just, more for marketing purposes, just to kind of, show what you've done, whatever. No one trying to join. Sorry. So yeah, put the model on there, the hat. And you could say the library, push your store down. So these are, no one can really see these right now. This is just, I'm showing you this just so y'all know. But I have bought templates for years and years and years of all kinds of stuff, and I've been uploading all the templates on here. And so you would pick something and you can just design inside of it, like phone cases, keychains, whatever. They'll all be available on, like if you go here, substrates, they'll be in here or here, substrates. They just won't be on the patch builder because they're not a patch. Then this is all the other stuff we have available. This is just kind of, getting your DTF transfer ready to go. Embroidery stickers, the same thing as the other patch builder, except it just does sticker backgrounds instead. Glossy vinyl, whatever, paper. And it's the exact same thing as the patch builder, except it's on sticker material. And then there is a 3D builder. So you can go in here and actually, prompt your 3D stuff or put pictures in or whatever. I don't mess with it a whole lot, but it does work. I think that was King Leonidas with a piggy bank in his arm. Obviously, it didn't put it all the way in his arm, but it tried. Not bad. And then just a vectorizer. It's in the works. And then screen print pre-press setup. Oops. Oh no. All right, so that's for the most part the standalone, like kind of tool shop. Shop tool. Did anyone have any questions about any of that? And then I'll get into the partner store stuff, what everyone's kind of interested in. The patch builder and a couple other things, but I'm about to make a bunch of them active. But they I'll probably do the sticker first. 3D builder I'm pretty sure is active. Um, all this should be active. I'm about to go through there and start making stuff active because I have really worked out the kinks. So yeah, it's limited right now on those two just because they're the ones that I feel the most confident don't have issues. And I don't want people, getting caught up and then getting frustrated. So I do a lot of testing to make sure these work really good before I release them. And if you do find issues or anything, like I say, message me. What I don't care. I want to get it fixed. It doesn't bother me. So oops. You can set up your profile on here as well. I don't know what is happening. It's taking over my computer. Sorry. Had an agent going off. You can set up your profile however you need in here. Your team. This is the team seats I was telling you about with the, invite your team. These are if you want customer stores, you can actually set up a customer store, charge them, $100 a month. You're only paying $9 for the user plus the $49 to start a store one time. If you want to load your own material, you can do it here. It's your subscription, orders, billing history. We have an affiliate program if you want. It's not a lot of people have done it yet, so but it is there. Um, Also, set up your profile up here because it's kind of gamified that we're going to do giveaways and different things once it kind of starts getting going. But there's leaderboards for like the daily, weekly, this month, all time. Looks like I'm up there. All right. Any other questions about any of this? And then I'll get into the partner stores, which is really cool. All right. So these are going to be your partner stores. This is kind of your Shopify integration and stuff like that. It's how you sell online. We recreated all the Shopify stuff so that we can actually, host it, do everything for you. It's all in one place, so you don't have to be all over the internet. You can import your Shopify store. You pay $49 one time to start a store, and then you don't pay anything if you don't get any sales. But if you get sales, you pay usage fee, and I'll go get into those here in a short in a minute. But again, it's kind of risk free if you don't make any sales. It's not like you're going to be paying $30 a month for a Shopify, and then all the apps you need, every month. You're literally just on your Patch It Up Pro subscription. That's it. Okay, let me go down to my store. Drink. So this is going to be your partner store backend. We have where, like I was telling you, you can host your own site. So this site is actually our Patch It Up Pro site for my print shop, and it has all the customizers on here. These are hats that I push to the store. Here's our patch builder. It's a little more limited to the customer, but it's kind of walks them through it, lets them build their stuff. It doesn't have the AI attached to it or anything, but this is what you would put on your Shopify store for customers to build, and it works literally kind of the exact same. It just kind of prompts them along, like, hey, do you want to remove the background? You want to do this? Do you want to do that? And there's your size. Do that. Oh, I want 3 inch. Here's my material. And then they have to hit all the checks before they can actually order. But it walks them through, so it's not so hard. I'm located in Austin, Texas. I'll close that. But I'm always available online, so don't be afraid to reach out. So those are our customizer products. We have, DTF gang sheets and stuff like that. I don't promote them heavily just because I really didn't mean to create it. We just need it for print cut. And then these are going to be all the products we offer that you can just go ahead and use in your system. They're all already all set up to like kind of be, have all the modifiers and the variants. And there's all kinds of different stuff. They're just templates that, makers use. And, adjust the price down here, however you need, however you set it up. There's all kinds of stuff. I've bought lots and lots of these over the years, so I knew all the templates. Here's just like a quote. These are all just kind of a form buying, and then this is like actually, set up a quote for someone, and then they can just like get a free quote. Here, all my actual real Google reviews all do pour in here. I have it connected, and I'll show you that here in a second. So that was the actual front end website. This is going to be your back end for managing everything. There's your main dashboard, kind of general dashboard. There's your analytics dashboard. So here's where all your orders are going to come in, and you can go through here and you can open in Shopify, manage your production, which is, you go grab the order over here and you put a status on it and kind of move it along and download all your files. Shouldn't have did that. I don't know how long it's going to take. Okay, so that's going to be a DTF gang sheet someone ordered. I can go through here, CYMK. I want, just my TIFF ones. I don't really care about the rest. And then I have the files from, whatever they created online. It takes a second to export some of these because they're kind of big. So be patient on this part. And then you can set, your status, or you can assign it to people if you have team members on here. And then you can set due dates, your status, like where it's at. This is all the stuff I use from my shop just so that we know we can talk and let everyone know where everything's at. I'm gonna go back up here though to orders. You can see your details in here, open it all. There's your production file, there's a preview. You can sync them from Shopify. And then here's your shipping labels, so you can actually do your shipping through here too. You can print the labels. It's integrated with Shippo, so it'll give you live rates, and then you can just print out a shipping label right there. So quotes. This is going to be for if you want to send people quotes from your shop. What do you mean minimum speed? You don't need a much speed at all. Like on internet, like you really just need a computer if you want your export files because it's gonna be big file exports. But overall, it does it goes generally fast on the export. It just depends like how many of those files you click, and you don't need them all. So figure out what you need and then just get those. But and how big the file was. If it's a DTF gang sheet, obviously that's a little bigger compared to like a patch. But you just it's not really the speed of your computer or anything or your internet. I mean, it's kind of your internet, but overall, it is web based. Our site's fast. It should run for you, pretty good. I've played with it in some bad network places, and it worked okay. So your quotes, this is going to be if you want to, send a quote for a customer. It has a full CRM and everything in here. So you can go in here and you can sell, anything you want. If you want to sell, I tell everyone hot sauce, you can put hot sauce in here and sell it. And then if you want to add one of our product templates, you can go through here, hey, they wanted a custom, tumbler, this color, laser engraved. They want this, and this, they want 100 of them. There's the discount added on to buy them for bulk, added that to the quote. And now there's the quote. I can go over here if I had customers in here, type their name or start a new customer and send the quote right from our system. Or if it sends from our system, it is going to say patch to pro, but if you can set up your own stuff through it here where it's actually your own branding and everything as well. So that's the quoting. This is going to be the mockups. So when you do mockups to send your customer, same thing on the sending. You can set up your email, but it will send off from ours either way. You can go new proof, load your proof, get it all approved from the customer before you print anything, just to make sure. These will be your customers. You can go through here and build a quote straight from them. Click them, see their orders, put tags on them, anything you really need to manage your customer, create an invoice, mark VIP, email them, create a quote. It's just a CRM to keep up with everyone. These buyer accounts, these are going to be your wholesale accounts. Like if you want to offer people cheaper pricing because, whatever reason you just want to give out wholesale pricing, you would do it here. Put them in as a wholesale pricing, and then you set your pricing and, in pricing, and then they get that, special pricing when they log into your website after, logging in. These are the reviews. This is what I was showing you. I have mine automatically connected, so they just feed into there. And these are my real Google reviews that actually do come in there, and it tells you how to set it all up right here. If you want to set up your own testimonials or product reviews, you can turn these on per product. So let's say your DTF gang shoots, turn it on, and whatever you're doing, you can turn it on and get product or reviews just for that product. And then that's just your FAQ. Catalog. These are all the products that we offer you to use. You can make them all inactive. This is how you manage everything that's on your store. You can go through here and create your own products based on, again, our templates. Like, hey, I want a leather keychain. Change this picture, change that. One thing we do different than Shopify is we allow unlimited modifiers and options and variants. So with them, I think they cap at 100. We literally have no cap. So you can have as many options, make it as custom as you want. And then, there's 4 options, 40 modifiers, 90 variants of just that leather wallet. This is going to be your actual sales customizers, like your patch builder and all that, how you set them up. That's the direct link to it. You can go to your pricing right here. Again, there's wholesale pricing, there's retail pricing. This one, for our patch pricing, it's going to be $2 on the base price per 50 cents per square inch plus, or a $5 minimum. So, that equals 650. Same thing for these. You just kind of set everything up as you want so that it builds out correctly by the square inch or whatever. Categories. This is just your categories on your store. Material. This is the material that you have available on your builders. So if you only want to carry rawhide, you literally uncheck everything but rawhide. And that's how you control, like, what so people aren't buying stuff that you don't have in stock or you don't want to get in stock. Blank products, it's the same thing except for it's the actual hats that you have in stock on your website. So you would, put the hats you want and add them to your store, and that's what would be available for your builders. Your package deals are going to be your, 24 what of this for this price. Kind of, it's easier to sell online because they would just kind of upload their logo, pick a patch color, and pick a hat color if you allow them to, or however you set it up. You can do it however you want, but they're a little better for, like, if you're running ads or you're doing stuff online, and it's just less confusing, less work to, like, try to build something custom. Inventory. This is going to be all your inventory of your shop. Literally everything you want to keep up with, from anything and everything. You put it in here. You have your reorders, how much it costs, where you got it from, everything like that. You can check in and out so you can keep up with everything and not run out. And then this is your vendors. I buy a lot of different stuff from a lot of different people. And sometimes I can't keep up with where I got what from who and what price and who I liked, who was their shipping. You just go in here and you can, add vendor products, reorder lists. But you can add a vendor, put all this, put their information, the sales rep you talk to, lead time, how long it takes, the payment, everything, their date or their address, how you like them, you can rate them just so that you can keep up with where you're buying stuff. So the production, this is going to be your production queue where your orders come in. That's what I was showing y'all earlier. You can just, do whatever you need to manage your orders, download your files. So I should do that. Download your files, whatever you have to do to kind of keep up with your production. Like, these are all Shopify orders. They're actual real Shopify orders, I'm pretty sure, not all of them. And then these are the statuses I set up, that we run our shop on that are available to y'all. Storefront. So the site that I showed you, this is how you would set it up. It's super, super easy. There's literally templates right here. You can just choose and switch between if you want.
Yeah.
And then there is, you can, you can click anything. It'll take you right to where it is. If you don't know what to write, you can just type something in here, press AI enhance, and it's going to gear it. It's going to write it with, good marketing copywriting so that it actually converts and everything, so you don't have to really think about all this extra stuff on your website. And then you can put the announcement bar up here on the top. There it is. Anything you need to do kind of to do your website, it's real basic and simple, but it gets the job done for what you need to do. Then you would save it here. You can import your site if you want. Already have a site, you want it to kind of build off of it, and then you can adjust it. So you don't have to start from scratch. You would just import your site. These pages are going to be, if you want to go deep with this site, you understand websites a little better. You kind of hop in here and you can, put everything, set it up, do it however you want. Have different pages for different things. This is just some kind of back end branding, SEO, favicons, stuff like that. You need to do so that it shows up right everywhere. So I have my domain set up to this. That one I was showing you was the Patch It Up Pro. We actually have a shop, SJG Print Design domain set up as well. And it's actually, my domain now. It's not going to be the Patch It Up Pro one. And then it's just some embedding stuff. You don't really need to worry too much about that. This is design library. I'm still kind of tweaking these things a little bit, but it's how you would kind of edit people's builders and stuff like that in their images. If you want to create discount codes on your website, you would do it here, and then you can give them whatever for whatever, and it applies to their order. Finance. So we run all the financial. We're the actual processor for this through Stripe. So you pay the $49 one time just to start a store, and then you do whatever you want with it. You don't spend another dollar on it unless you get a sell. But then when you get sell, depending on the sell, this is the tiered pricing. It starts at 8% on a low order. We encourage higher orders just because we are, it costs a lot of money to run the back end of this, no matter what size the order is. And so that's the reason we do that. But if you have, larger orders, you'll be okay. It's literally just a credit card processing fee. And there's a wallet on here that you can cash out, do whatever. You can have it automatically go to your bank, and the reason there's a wallet is because we have, something we have coming is going to be the supply catalog where you can go in here and pick from anywhere and we will get it drop shipped right to your door. So you do not have to go find these products. I know where they are. I will go get them for you. You pay me, we make sure we get it to you. So you don't have to deal with all the headache. That is the goal of where that is. And again, the finance is, it's just how you keep up with all your sales. Transaction is going to be your actual transactions of your account, analytics, just kind of general who landed here, did what. Shopify integration, I synced in all my Shopify products, which we had 1,300. They were all brought in here. And then I also synced in all the orders. So there's 117 orders synced in. So we can bring your data from Shopify over here. We're working on getting the app approved, but once we do that, it'll be a lot easier. But I do have a way of doing it. We can get it done. These are coming. They work, but I want to do a few things different. But it'll be how you connect your TikTok shop or your Meta shop. And then this is how I was telling you can set up your own email so that if you want your emails branded from you, you can have them, coming from your website. There's a few options. Recent's the way that I advise. And then settings, just general settings to set up your stuff, your team. This is how you would add all your team to your back end in here. Appearances, and if you had a customer, you would add them to the back end over here if you wanted them to see their store. Fonts, embed, just a bunch of different things that, settings more or less. Oh, print on demand. Another reason we have this is, we're going to have like a vendor network where you can hop on here and you can fulfill orders. You'll be rated, but you can use your wallet to pay for stuff if you need something outsourced or however, or you can just be on there and make sales. I think that is for the most part all of it. I try to be thorough. If you have any questions, let me know. Any feedback, y'all can turn on y'all's mics, whatever y'all want to talk. The cost is $79 a month. If you go to the webinar page that you signed up on to be in here, there's actually a 10% discount and you're locked in under that grandfathered price forever. And that's, that pays for this whole backend software and all that. And then per store, you could have as many stores you want. You would pay $49 just to get it active and running. plus, the usage fees once you get any sales. If you don't get any sales, you're out the $49, not a dollar more. So it's literally risk-free to try and replace Shopify. Shopify costs $30 a month at the minimum account. Any other questions? Feedback, anything? Yeah, the team, it's going to be, you're just going to pay $9 to add basically another user. That's all it is, just an additional user to your account. And then that's the same way you, like I was saying, you would manage your customer store. So if you had a customer, you could charge them $100, plus a setup fee if you want to get their store going, charge them whatever you want a month. I mean, I'm not saying you got to do 100, I'm just doing an example, but charge them whatever you want. You're paying $9 a month to add them to their store so that they're a team. And then literally they can see all their sales, see everything they want. And, you can add, one person from your team to this store, one person from your team to this store. So you can actually do team stores relatively cheap. If they don't sell anything, again, you don't lose any money. And you possibly make, some money if you're charging them monthly. What else? Any feedback? What y'all think about it? Any comments? Yeah, you could point your domain to it and everything like that easily. It's really, really easily. And, it's not perfect. I'm not going to claim it is. If you've been following me, I've been doing, building this for a long time and it's come a long way. But, I am very adamant about trying to get it, as good as I can to perfect. And, I do understand if you watch this, you can tell I understand the workflow of how things need to go and files need to be and everything like that. There's actually depth maps even on here, so I can show you all that later or whatever. But it's something yeah, you got to play around with and get in there. But you can always fall back to this recording and work and message me if you need anything, and I can help. I don't mind. I'm very friendly. Again, you message me in the middle of the night. I'm not gonna wake up and do it, but when I wake up, I will do it. So and I want to know that there's problems or something with it. So I don't feel like you're like getting on my nerves or hurting my feelings or anything like that. I have really thick skin. I want to know the issue if there is one or a suggestion so that I can get it, better suited for all of y'all. Anything else from anyone? Uh, I add features pretty quick. That's kind of my problem is I add features a little too quick sometimes and it causes issues. But I've been getting better about doing it the right way. So these features I've been working on where I can see them and test them and make sure that they're working before I go completely live with them. But I move fast, just put it that way, and I do have a team behind me now. I started this out by myself, but I have a really good team behind me now, and they, you know, we will move fast on things. Anything else? I do ask everyone if you like it, please go post about it on social media. If you're using the trial, you can use the sign up P PIUP 30 as a code, and it'll give you a 30-day trial so that you can try it for 30 days without paying. The other one's just a 7-day trial. And I'll yeah, it's a good CRM for all this. So like I do know I understand a lot about marketing and everything like that. And so like I do, I use Go High Level personally for my CRM. And just sorry, I'm answering two people at once. Just shoot me a message on Facebook and I'll give you a credit for 30 days. It's Sean Gillen. I'll type it in the comments. I'm sure you can see my name, but just look me up, add me. Here's the code if y'all need it. You can go to patchituppro.com and here's the code. It'll ask you for a code. That will give you the 30-day trial. I just typed it in the chat, I think. there it is. So like I said, pop up. But yeah, you can just go to patch.pro.com and set it up, and it's pretty easy to use. I mean, it does take a little, getting used to, but once you get used to it, I can knock out print and cut patches in less than 5 minutes. Like I'm talking about design from a shitty file all the way through design on the printer, almost on the laser. It's that fast. You're not going to spend hours. You're going to save the money you spend. The $79 you're going to save by paying a designer, because the cheapest you can find designers probably 10, 15 bucks at a cheap end. And you do that a few times a month. You already pay for the membership, a subscription here, and you easily could have just gotten a subscription. And like this makes it, it takes away the learning curve completely. Any other questions? I'm about to hop on this and go relax because I've been going all day. Again, if you like it, please post about it. That helps me more than anything. Just a simple post like, "Hey, I saw Patch It Pro, demo. It's cool, whatever." If you don't, yeah, it does add a lot of software. Like you have Chat GPT in here, you're replacing Photoshop, you're replacing, I can go on for a second, vectorizer, multiple things. So it's definitely worth the money. I spend a lot of money to make it run. I will say that. So it's definitely not just built on random stuff that's half-assed. It's actually really good. But what was I saying? Yeah, again, if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Post about it, please. Again, that helps me more than anything. Or if you see I post about it, please, follow up, say I saw the demo and it was great, or whatever. That really, it helps me with the credibility part. So, and I will help y'all however I need to. And I'm open suggestions and open to, sorry, open to suggestions, comments. Post about it if you like it. If you don't like it, please message me. Give me a chance to defend myself. If you have any issues with anything, also message me and I'll get them fixed. I'm very very active on this. So if I can't do it, someone on my team will knock it out. We're constantly moving forward with it. Cool. I'm gonna get off of here. If y'all need anything, shoot me a message. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for your time.